I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
And I'm telling you now, you have permission to be successful. Hope you guys enjoyed that little beginning clip. That was just my morning, my Sunday, kind of my routine of how I get everything done throughout the morning. And I just wanted to break down to you guys the 8 key lifestyle changes that got me my dream physique. So it doesn't take much to get the dream physique that you want, or at least the lifestyle, the body, the discipline, the lifestyle, everything that you want is on the other side of a few simple changes. But what I will say is they're not going to change unless you can learn to adapt your lifestyle with these changes. It doesn't matter of what you can do for 30 days. It doesn't matter what you can do for 60 days, but what can you implement into your life to completely change everything for longevity purposes. So I first want to break down who I am, my story, and then we're going to go through the 8 key moments and the key points that kind of built my dream body, my dream lifestyle, and the dream physique that I always desired. So who am I? First, I'm just a kid out of a small town of about 5,000 people, grew up poor, grew up in a household that didn't have too much values, grew up surrounded by negativity, grew up surrounded by drugs, grew up surrounded by partying, around people that kind of had low ambitions, didn't really see outside of the circle where they were consumed by. So guess what happened? I started gaining habits that people around me had. I started to smoke. I started to drink when I was super young. I started to party every single weekend and not really do anything. And it got to a point where I kind of was just losing purpose. I was just going through my day by day, smoking, looking for my next dopamine hit, looking for the next thing that would just fill my life up with some type of pleasure. I would jump from relationship to relationship, not caring about who I was hurting, what I was doing in that relationship, but honestly just looking for enjoyment through my life. Not caring about anyone else, only caring about the quick dopamine jumps that I would get whenever I would, have sex, whenever I would drink, whenever I would go and smoke dabs with my friends. Everything just kind of felt like mundane. Everything just got so used to it. I felt like I wasn't performing to my absolute best, but it was all in the back of my head. So since I was getting these quick dopamine jumps, I was still just going through life, not feeling fulfilled. I went through college. All throughout the 4 years of college, I was smoking every single day. So the retention, the learning, everything just felt minimal. It felt like I wasn't actually improving my life the way that I needed to. I wasn't even doing much outside of partying and working on my business. Like, of course I would work out for a little bit, but I wasn't even seeing the muscle gains that I needed to after college. It still seemed like after all those years, I was still that exact same person from when I started to who I am today. And so I realized that the fun was outweighing my purpose. I didn't know what I was working for. After college, I had nothing. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to perform in life. I didn't know who I wanted to become. And it all felt just, as I said before, mundane. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was still partying every single weekend, looking for the next dopamine hit, and I had nothing that I was working on towards. I was just at my sales job, just working a 9 to 5 and not knowing exactly what I was building. I might have been putting a little bit of money away, but what was it all for? What was the purpose? I didn't have the dream physique that I wanted. I didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted, and it felt like I was having more fun and not having a purpose. And so at the end of the day, it felt like I wasn't feeling fulfilled at all. And so I learned I had to drop everything. I had to drop my old friends. I had to go solo. I started creating content. I created a disciplined routine to help me live a 90-10 lifestyle. And it wasn't that I perfected it on day one, but I learned, I reiterated it. And then over about an 8-month period, I learned what works for me. And now I do the same and help out all these other people that kind of want a lifestyle that they desire, but they don't know how to live it. And that's just been something that's been so powerful for me. Like, how can I help out other people live a life from point A to point B. Point A being my old self, the person who wasn't feeling fulfilled, the person that felt like was just going day by day doing the exact same stuff. And then throughout that journey, I found the person that completes me. I found the person that pushes me, keeps me ambitious, keeps me towards my goals, and wants me to become the best person of my ability. All because I went solo and I learned what system works for me. How can I become the person that I desire? How can I have the lifestyle that I desired? And I put it all into just a formula, into a way that I can help out other people achieve that exact same result of becoming someone that they desire to be. It could be people they look up to. It could be someone that is close near them. It could be someone that they don't even recognize, but you have to have some type of desire. Who do you want to become? What do you want to be? What type of person do you want to impress your kids for? Do you want your kids to really think of you as this person that isn't ambitious, that the only thing they do is their 9 to 5, doesn't have anything working on their side, doesn't have a physique that is desirable by many? Like, what do you want for your future self? And what do you want for your future family? And what do you want to, and how do you want to help other people live that lifestyle? And, all that ran through my mind, and I was like, okay, so right now I decided to put together 8 key moments that designed my lifestyle to gain me and guarantee me the dream body that I always desired. All right, so number 1 is going to be my 4-4-4 method. This is going to be a method that I use to attack every single day with consistency and with desirability. So every single morning I wake up and do a 4-step morning routine that gets me amped up to knock out my 4 non-negotiables. And my non-negotiables are 4 things that I'm going to do to attack the day towards my 4 goals that I set for myself. So I have 4-step morning routine. Could be making the bed, could be brushing my teeth, could be reading for 10 minutes, could be journaling for 5 minutes, but something to get me into an active state where I'm like, okay, I'm knocking stuff off my checklist. What's the next thing that I'm gonna do? And then the next 4 things is gonna be my 4 non-negotiables. What 4 things am I gonna knock out for the day that will be my needle movers towards my goals? And then I'm gonna have 4 goals that are set as the monthly to my yearly goals. Where do I wanna see myself in a month? Where do I wanna see myself in a year? And I check off these boxes each and every day. And then the goals are there to remind me each and every day, what am I working towards? What am I doing? And I put that all in a notepad. And number 2 is gonna be 90% whole foods. Of course, it's super hard to cut out all your junk food, all your processed food, but what I do is I just try to set a limit, 90% whole foods. Steak, potatoes, ground beef, chicken, rice, fruits, a shit ton of fruits, protein shakes. Just the majority of the food that you should be implementing into your body should all come from God's earth. Should all come not being processed, not being heated up in a microwave. Should be something that you take time to cook, and that will build the physique that you want, because the physique is built outside of the gym. And my 3rd one, which I find super important, is knocking out one impossible task that your old self could not do every single month. What's one thing that you think that you can desire to do every month? So for the first month, do you think you can do 100 push-ups every time you wake up? Because I guarantee you that you can. For the next month, do you think that you can run 2 miles every single day? Because I guarantee that you can. For the next month, do you think that you could read for an hour each and every day to increase your learning abilities? I think you can. If you do that for 30 days, then 60 days, and then 90 days, you're gonna realize that you can improve your life, and by doing stuff outside of your comfort zone, as long as you have consistency. Consistency is the main thing. 30 days is enough to build a habit. Build those habits and do something impossible each and every day that your old self would not be able to do. And then number 4 is gonna be my 90-10 lifestyle. The main thing about this video is 90% of the time I'm working my ass off. I'm getting my shit done. But then 10% of the time, I leave that for fun. I leave that for enjoyment. I leave that for a little bit of partying, a little bit of hanging out with my friends, a little bit of working on, enjoying life a little bit more. But then 90% of the time, I'm focusing on my future. I'm focusing on building a business. I'm focusing on building an offer for my clients. I'm focused on building out the best type of transformations for my clients and implementing what I can do for them. 90% of the time, I'm working on my content. I'm working on reading. I'm working on building out my program a little bit more. It's all about balance, but that balance should not be a 50-50 lifestyle. Because if it is, next thing you know, I'm gonna go back into that person that I kind of wanna strive away from. Number 5 is gonna be protein first meals. Every single meal, you should focus on protein first. You shouldn't have any naked carb meals. You should be focusing on meals that have high protein and carbs that fit whatever desired goal that you have. Whether you are cutting, whether you are gaining weight, whether you are recomping, it all depends on what your goal is, how you kind of should defer your carbs, but your protein should be a basis for every single meal that you have. Make sure that every single meal you're getting 30 to 50 grams of protein. As long as you can do that, you're gonna hit your goals and you're gonna get the physique that you want. And then another one for business is gonna be 3x60 work windows. If every single day you have a 60-minute window where you train, a 60-minute window where you have a deep work session, where you're building out some type of business, where you're building out some type of offer, you're building out something for your clients, and then another 60 minutes building your brand, working on videos, restructuring your Instagram, restructuring your YouTube, you will see progress over a month period. Next thing you know, that's 30 times 60, 180 hours that you're spending on your business. Like, that's gonna be insane. And then number 7 is gonna be a consistent sleep schedule. Sleep is so important. People completely undermine the importance of sleep and what that does for the human body. If you're able to wake up at the exact same time each and every day, not only does that build consistency, but your body's gonna know every single day, okay, this is the time that I wake up, this is the time I go to bed, okay, what's the filler in between? How can I get the most energy all throughout my day? But if you're waking up late, you're going to bed at 12 p.m., waking up at 7 p.m., and then the next day you're like, okay, I'm gonna get all ready, I'm gonna go to bed at 9 p.m. and wake up at 5 a.m., you're gonna have inconsistent REM sleep. And so 1, you're gonna get horrible sleep, but then 2, you're not gonna be consistent on the things that you need to do each and every day, which should be your 4-4-4 method. And then lastly, which I already stated, but muscles are built outside of the gym. You need to focus on a little bit of cardio throughout the week. You need to focus on whole foods that you're eating to make sure that you're gaining the muscle that you need. You need to focus on replenishing your body with water, electrolytes, making sure that your body feels energized all throughout the day. That's the 8 things that got me to get my dream physique, the physique that I feel accomplished for, the physique that I feel rewarded for doing. There's one quote that I love, which is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you can't learn to do everything disciplined in your life, then you're gonna learn that everything is gonna feel like a dopamine hit. Everything is gonna feel like not fulfilling your purpose. But if you live through life feeling every single bit of work that you do is purposeful, 90% of the work you're building your business, 10% of the time you're living a life that's fun and enjoyment, you're gonna realize that purpose comes to you. You have to find purpose in life, and you have to make life be purposeful. And I promise you, you have permission to be successful. A lot of people will tell you and doubt you for what your goals and ambitions were. Everyone thought it was stupid when I was creating content. Everyone thought it was stupid when I was creating my own coaching brand. But I'm telling you now, because of the lifestyle that I built, everyone that I used to know desires the lifestyle that I have. And it's only a matter of time before they reach out to me asking me, hey, how do I get the lifestyle that you built up? Hopefully you guys learned something through this video. If you have, drop a thumbs up, drop a comment, subscribe, do anything you want to. But I'm telling you right now, the one thing I would love for you to do is to send this to somebody that could benefit from it. Whether that's your younger brother, whether that's a friend that you talk to every single day, whether that's someone that you used to talk to and you don't talk to no more. Send it to someone that you actually think can change their life from this. Because I promise you, if you implement all 8 of these things, you will get the desired lifestyle you want. These are the 8 things that I tell all my clients to do. And because they actually are accountable, and I'm making sure that I'm reaching out to them each and every week, and I'm holding them accountable to their goals, their tasks, and their mission, they reach it just based off these 8 things. So why can't you? Put some accountability in yourself. And if you can't, just reach out to me. I'll help you out along the way. But my name is Jonathan. Hopefully you guys found this video. It's been a minute since I posted a YouTube video. And I'll see you boys in the next one.